Hello, my dear Scorpio. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between June 16 till June 30, 2017, with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I will start shuffling your cards. I used the Legacy of the Divine Tarot by Zero Marchetti. And I call the Divine with love and light. And I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world. And I call the 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. So I want my dear Scorpio to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So, I also want to take the chance to tell you that the Sun in Gemini is opposing Saturn moving retrograde in Sagittarius. So, the days until Sun moves into Cancer will be fiery with Gemini-Sagittarius combination. The Sun will continue opposing Saturn in Sagittarius when it moves into Cancer. And the Cancer-Sagittarius combination represent the Chariot. 2 opposite forces that need to be brought together to get the show on the road. While June 21st we will have the midsummer solstice over the tropical of Cancer, and June 24th we will have the new moon in Cancer, joined there with the Sun, Mercury and Mars. Venus will be in Taurus this period, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn is still in retrograde. Jupiter is moving direct since June 10. Okay, so I will just tune in for a few seconds. Okay, my dear Scorpio, this is your future, and this is your now, and this is your past. So, the now is probably the second half of June 2017, but whenever you watch this is probably the exact right time to see it. So you can also watch this reading several times during this period, and you will get to know more and more, understand more and more of what's going on with you. Okay, so the first card for you is King of Cups. That's you, Scorpio. King of Cups is a person that have their emotions. They have access to their emotion. They feel their emotions, but they are not identifying themselves with their emotions. They know their emotion to be a tool which they can use to get better understanding of their own intuition, or where to go next, or to be able to make a decision. The King of Cups is kind of a whole person. It's a person that has transformed themselves to their highest consciousness, and they are aware of the fact that wherever they go, there they are. So there's there's a lot of things being earned if you are paying a lot of attention to your eternal body. You all Scorpios have this ability to make yourself whole on the inside, but some of you are kind of running from that ability. You don't want to feel the feelings. You think it's scary, so you try to be preoccupied. You try to do other things to never have to connect. But what you're actually trying to disconnect from is your true talent, your true divine source, you being able to communicate with the divine through your emotions. So for those of you living a stressful life, or never being able to put down the cell phone or click off the TV, or always running or keeping yourself preoccupied with some kind of physical endeavor, try to stay in the inner space of your body and try to cultivate it. It will be very beneficial for you. You will get to know yourself, and you will also get kind of in contact with your superpowers, so that can be nice. King of Cups is also, it might be a person on the outside coming bearing gifts to you, or a calm, mature person. Sometimes the King of Cups is also sulky, kind of the arms crossed and don't want to talk, but that's when the emotions have gotten the better out of him or her. King of Cups can also be her. Kings are situations that have grown to its full extent, or a project that you are working on and that is kind of on a closing end. It's also accomplishments, victories, being very skillful in a certain area. But as I said, it can also be something, a situation coming with gifts to you. And this is in the past for some of you watching in early June. This might be happening now. So here you have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is some very lucky or unlucky event that will come and present itself to you. It kind of depends on what type of Scorpio you are. Whatever you send out will come back to you. It's the law of attraction. The things you saw is the things that's going to grow up. So you need to be paying attention to what you say and do, and what kind of state of mind you put yourself in, because this is going to be the house you live in. This is going to be the energy that comes back to you. But the Wheel of Fortune also reminds you that you don't have control. You are in a world where you have free will, but the divine is kind of having the rule book. They make up the rules. But the King of Cups has the ability to be in their center, to be friends with their insight, to be friends with their feelings. So whatever happens on the outside, you can keep a cool exterior, being emotionally calm, grounded. This is kind of you being very rock solid, but having contact with your emotions. Also being timeless, no past, no future. Being very like here and now, without anticipation, and also kind of giving up your will to the divine. Whatever happens, happens. You don't have control. You can only do so much. You can do the best you can in every situation, but it doesn't guarantee a great outcome, because we are here to be challenged. We are not here to be afraid and try to have a cozy and nice life. We are here to be challenged and grow. And we shouldn't take what other people do to us personally. So the wheel, Jupiter. I said Jupiter was moving direct now in Libra. This might have to do with your relationship. Maybe there's going to be some kind of revolution, maybe a mature revolution on your end, making you maybe you are taking more responsibility for the surrounding and for people's feelings, and therefore also taking care of your own feelings, becoming more emotionally stable, like a father figure, like a front runner for your group of people. Guiding them when it comes to their inner psychological world, giving them clues, giving them tools. I think if you are a Scorpio that's very in touch with your feelings, you will also be a truth teller. You might be able to give people another perspective, like a revolted perspective of things. But this is very lucky for the most of you, and you have worked very diligently to actually put yourself on the highest path towards your highest destiny. Here comes a little Knight of Coins, usually Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. Knight of Coins is a project. It's sometimes something that you want to reach. It's like you have made a wish here, and you are going to work hard to reach that goal. Or you might be like a little bit more hasty running. It's like you have it's like you're speeding a little bit here, and here you meet an energy that's much more slow and doesn't want to speed at all. Maybe more tired, maybe more careful, maybe don't want to go outside the comfort zone, maybe enjoy the small pleasures in life, like smelling the roses and taking a walk in the park. So it might be that it's two different energies, but it's very watery and earthy, so it might come to some beautiful fruition. Here we have a Four of Swords, so I really think that you're feeling that your life is kind of boring with a Knight of Coins energy, that nothing's really happening. You want to have things happening with the speed of light. But maybe this is a chance for you, if you are with more dull people that's not like as adventurous as you, to take it cool and to take it slow, and to have a rest, and to stay in the here and now, it might be a beautiful chance for you to heal old wounds, and you don't have to run from yourself and your inside anymore. This is kind of a death scene or a funeral scene. We have the raven here also coming with flowers, but we see that the moon is shining through here, so actually it's not real death, it's just you kind of crawling up into fetal position, so you will be able to feel your feelings and sort out also your mind. This is for swords cards. It can be that there's some kind of delay, some kind of gap between two people or two groups of people. It might be also vacation coming up, a much needed vacation in that case, because it's almost look like you are ill, or you might be healing from an illness. I think you need to sort out how you are aiming your energy, because you have a very hasty moving energy with the Wheel of Fortune, and the Knight of Coins is more slow, and here's it's slowing back down even more. Maybe you need to really get in contact with nature, with stillness, with your inner self, not running from yourself anymore. This time could be a very good time to do this, to kind of not wasting your energy on unnecessary things. Here comes the Queen of Cups, and that's of course the Queen of Emotions, the Queen of Intuition, the Queen of this connection with the deep waters inside herself, with the moon, with the cycles. So this is where you need to go, and running around won't make you able to do this. So you really have to slow down. Time needs to be kind of going out the window. Try to be more timeless, like this mountain here. It's eternal. It doesn't know any, it remembers the past, but the past is kind of not significant, and the future isn't significant either. It's a rock. It has been there for a billion of years. It's not going anywhere. So if you can put yourself in this mindset, you will probably come in contact with your emotions, the very things that you have been running away from. You also have a King of Cups, you, Scorpio, together with Cancer. So this might be also in a love relationship. One is moving very hasty, the other one is moving very slow. One wants to have adventures and things happening in action, and the other one wants to feel the connection and feel the feelings and talk about necessary things. And when there's this clash, there might be no talking at all. It might be silent treatment from this Queen of Cups, or you might give other people silent treatment if you think that they are not listening to you or your emotions. So usually we are not exactly, everyone isn't like typical Scorpio or typical non-Scorpio. We usually, it's more common that we have like an imbalance in our relationship. Either we are the one that tries to get a lot of things done, wants to move hasty within the relationship, or we are the other side, someone that wants to take it slow, wants to be listened to, wants to have their feelings being taken into reconsideration. They don't want to be overrun. They can be very emotional and easy to manipulate, and they know this, so they want to take things slow, so things aren't going like in a wrong kind of direction where they absolutely don't want to go. So either you take one of the sides of this balance act. So if you are thinking that the other person is doing something wrong, do more of the thing that they are actually doing, because you're probably supposed to take in their side of things, and then there will be balance, like automatically, beautifully. Okay. So when it comes to dressed card together like this, it might either mean that you are taking in both the masculine and feminine aspect of the same thing, or that you have a significant other that you have a very beautiful connection with. The Knight of Coins in the middle is kind of talking about the energy in the relationship, that it wants to take its special course of time, and it's slow, so patience might be needed while you are waiting for the Wheel of Fortune, like something happy. You want something to happen, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen so much. Rather, it's going to slow down so you can feel your emotions and know what real happiness is, not just keeping yourself occupied to not have to feel. So underneath the King of Cups, we have the actual Justice card. This is usually Libra. It's about this, what I said. If one person is doing too much of a thing, start to do that thing you too, and that will be a balance act. If you think another person is doing too little of a thing, well, do less of that too. That will also balance things up. Sometimes we are in relationships where we are taking too much responsibility. And when we stop, it doesn't mean automatically that the other person will actually take over for you. You might actually separate like this. Just separate. Because they were never willing to love you in the way that you needed to be loved. But when you do this action of stepping back or doing less or not taking the other person's responsibility for the relationship as your own, you're taking both sides, there's actually a big chance that you will start to attract people that's more balanced. For some of you, this will be a divorce. There will be separate ways. There can also be a peace treaty or finally understanding someone else's point of view. You have 10, 11. This is definitely karmic. This is definitely something that you might have having trouble to learn before, and now you really need to learn this. And I think it's about connecting with your feelings. After all, you are feelings, Scorpio. You are water, so don't be afraid of your superpower. Don't be afraid of your emotions. They might be hurting. It's like you are in an ocean-going creature, and when those high-frequency whale sounds hit you, you will feel it. You will vibrate with it in your whole body, and that might be painful. It might be disturbing. You can feel different feelings. Fear is very hasty. Sorrow is very like ongoing pain, like this. Start to see what's getting you into balance and what's getting you out of balance, and also let the emotions flow a little bit. You still don't have to identify with them. They are just language. You don't have to decide like, oh God, I'm such a sad person because I feel these unbalanced feelings. No, you just feel them because you want to take the message that's coming with them. It's some kind of truth that might be unpleasant to see, but actually is the truth anyway. Sometimes in relationship, we just take what we can get. We want to be in love, and we might be attracted by the wrong kind of people, and we don't want to be alone, so we are with those people anyway. But here it's like you need to see some kind of truth that might be unpleasant, and it might rend you up alone for a while until you are kind of balancing yourself to attracting the kind of person that could actually make you happy for real, not you just chasing some kind of happiness that's not even real, that's not even the thing. It's just you trying to have a band-aid on something that you actually would benefit from seeing. Here comes the Three of Cups. So you need to figure out what's really making you happy, not what's keeping you in a kind of addiction kind of mode, but what really makes you happy, what's making you like skippity-scop like a 3-year-old happy. And start to aim towards those things. And this is Three of Cups. It's about soul family. Your King of Cups is also about finding your soul family. So I really think that it's time for you to see the truth and start to decide that you want this, what you want, whatever the surrounding can offer you or not. So that will actually make you free, like vibrating better with what actually would make you happy. But there's something else here. It's connected to the Empress. and it is 10 and 11 here. So for some of you, there might be addictions covering up what really makes you happy, and that's why you need to slow down so you can actually feel the true feelings. This is Cancer, and this is also Cancer. Of course, you should do things that makes you happy, but not in a way that you are kind of just painting over your true feelings. So you need to be mindful of that. Here comes the Four of Wands, and it comes very beautifully underneath this earthy energy. I think you need to become more rock solid, so you will be able to feel your emotions without having them throwing you off. If you can become very stable and grounded and love yourself, even if the rest of the world are really opposing you in every single way, love yourself and side with yourself. This is your soul. It has a certain vision about where it's supposed to go and who it's supposed to manifest here on earth as you. So you need to start to really dream your dreams and see your vision, what's making you happy. And don't mistake like being preoccupied for happiness. You need to go deeper than this. You need to go deeper into your core. Here's a Four of Wands, that's self-love. These two together can be marriage. It can be celebration of some sort. It can be finding out that you actually love yourself and that you love everything about you and that you really don't care if other people doesn't think the same about you. This is a real door opener and eye opener as well. Being able to see the truth that you love yourself the way you are and you want to be in this way because it's your soul's calling. And also, I think you want to have more friends. I think you want to have more love connection, more stability within love. So therefore, you need to find your kind of group of people. Sometimes, if we have the 4 here also meeting this Empress, this Emperor meeting this Empress energy. You don't have to choose either or. You can be both. You can be both stable and grounded and still have happy feelings and be sad and go back to being grounded and then happy and sad. And you don't have to choose like either or. You can be very fully yourself. Underneath the Four of Swords, we have a 7 of Coins. So again, this slowness. Four of Swords is like truth. 2 warrior tribes having like a truth, putting down their arms. 7 of Coins is something you have been working on very hard. It's time to evaluate if you will continue working on this or if you will let it go. Sometimes we can also feel like we have wasted time on something when we get this card, but the 7 of Coins is never a waste of time. It's like you have been building, you have been having a vision, something that you wanted in your life. You have longed for it for a long time and you have worked diligently towards this goal. And everything you have learned about how to reach this goal has been so valuable. So even if you feel like you have wasted time on the wrong crowd or the wrong person, it's still not a waste of time because you have learned how to get this crop mature. You still are need to learn how to get fruits from this tree. It's just possibilities just yet. But here you have a fully grown seed. So you have accomplished something. You have grown yourself, I would say. I think you have grown personally out of this situation. You might be dealing with some person that's slow or not wanting to contact you or not giving you what you want, but that's actually just wants to wake your feelings, the truth of your feelings in some way. So you will know more what you like and what you don't like, so you don't have to stay with people just because you love them. You can love people and not stay with them, and you can also work much more harder to connect with those people that you actually want to connect with. There's some kind of thing going on here where there's a little bit of a split. Here we have the Fool. The Fool is a new beginning. So I think you are going to change your mind about something. You are going to see that, well, you wanted something and it was really like everything that you dreamed about, but I think you're going to aim towards something new here. We see here there's almost like a divorce here, but I would more say not a divorce. It's more you seeing what's making you balanced and not. Also you seeing the truth of a situation. Maybe a relationship, a long-term relationship. Maybe your feelings have changed in this relationship. It's also, there's 3 here, but there's 4 here. So there might be like 3 persons involved in this. Like a water sign or someone acting very watery, like listen very closely to their emotions. One person being very slow and very careful and don't want to go outside the comfort zone. They want to always feel at ease with whatever they do, so they don't throw themselves out there. And then we have you, like a person that's being able to see into other people's souls and understand them, but in the same time you want some action. We can see this with the wheel here. So there might be a 3-party involvement or a family situation, something that's really beautiful, but in the same time you also see, it's like you start to see flaws with it. You start to see things that it's very good to start seeing the truth. It doesn't mean you have to like throw out the baby with the bathwater. To see the truth is like maybe the start for like something new. Maybe now you have more information, so you know how to solve this problem or this this crop that doesn't want to come to real full bloom. Maybe now when you see the truth of something, maybe of your own behavior, someone else's behavior, or something with the dynamics between you 2 or you 3, maybe then you can solve this and begin anew in a much more better way. And I sense like 3-year-old here, so I think something I think you need to return to this kind of happiness and feeling that you have when you were a little child, like when the world was still amazing. But it's like you think that the world is amazing, but maybe you want to find someone to share this amazement with. Maybe the people in your life is not like on your level. Maybe you need to find people that's more alive, more hasty, more impulsive, more adventurous, more loving, more connected, more being able to talk about difficult things, or like it's very curious energy here as well. Okay, so the divorce comes before the marriage, so that might be one thing as well. And then there's this halt here, and it could be a vacation, but it looks a little bit sad. But I think it's a well-earned rest anyway, before something hits off again, something start to like dance again with these dancing cards. Maybe the only thing that's missing is you listening to your feelings, and then you can keep on dancing through life in this adventurous mode again. But you just need to relax a little time to get close to your own inner sadness, and then when you have this piece of the puzzle on place, it will start again. It will move on again. You don't have to stay in that mode forever. So it's just for a little while, but you need to let that little while be a little while. You can't just skip it, because then you skip your superpower. So this was in the now, and here we have the future. It comes Page of Swords, 2 swords again. We have this Justice that's kind of Libra, so it's something with balance and something with your inner child. I think you need to communicate the feelings of your inner child much more better. Maybe you are throwing yourself in and out of relationships and in and out of situations because you don't feel like really valued. You love yourself, but you are maybe a little bit suspicious if other people love you or not. I think you need to communicate yourself better. Tell them who you are. They can't read your mind with telepathy. You need to tell them, like, this is how I feel right now. This is why I'm acting this way. This is my reaction to this situation. This is the truth that I'm seeing. You need to become more brave with this, with communicating who you really are. This is going to help you, I think, very much. Not all people are mind readers, so you might need to tell them. It's a little connected to this, like you're waiting for something, or you don't feel like you can show the world this personality trait with you. It's like maybe you weren't really accepted as a child in some way. Something with you weren't really accepted. And now I think you accept this part of yourself. I think it's giving you a lot of joy and stability. I think it's totally okay for you, but you have a hard time to communicate this with others. People might misunderstand you. And if you can communicate and tell what's going on with you, or what this little it's like a very energetic energy. It might do like bad things sometimes. It might be very, it's like a mind that's full of ideas all the time, like a little bit impulsive. So you might need to tell people in your surrounding those ideas, share them with them, and start to have conversation about them, so you don't have to jump from thinking to doing. That might be why this energy is so like divorce and then very happy, and then there's like somebody being ashamed or being very sad, and then connecting again, like getting forgiveness or something similar, and then you go back to being this tricky little child again that doesn't feel really accepted. This might be another person that you encounter as well. You might have this mirrored in your outside. So here your happiness, all your ideas, all your lust for life is kind of turning into disappointment. So I think you need to harness this energy that you have, all those ideas, this impulsiveness, this thing, and you need to harvest it and take it, like aim it into something that can come to be beneficial for people in your surrounding too, not just you feeling on the top of the world, doing crazy things, and maybe other are being afraid for your ideas, or maybe they are kind of telling you that you did the wrong thing. Anyway, you get disappointed, and your inner child is very disappointed. So this is where I'm aiming at. I want your inner child to not be disappointed. So if you can communicate yourself better, people will understand you better, and they won't be so upset with you. So you will become disappointed or feel ashamed or get guilt or whatever is happening here. It might also be some kind of separation that hurts a little bit, but anyway, this kind of this separation here was necessary because you start to love yourself, and you are kind of siding with yourself. You are going with your own soul's energy, and this is really important. But as I have told you before, Scorpio, you are a little bit unusual, so people can't understand you like instantly. And we see here there's a kind of misunderstanding and things that need to have time to settle. Like other more slow-going people needs to have, like, get your ideas, get what you are saying, and you need to give them some time and space to be able to meet your needs. Maybe you have needs of like you want to see the world, but you are with a partner that not want to go like outside your household. So then you need to maybe say that I want to travel, and talk about traveling and include them in those ideas, and eventually maybe they will grant you with these wishes and say, okay, we go. So temperance, two opposite forces need to be pulled together to make yourself whole. The King of Cups is about being whole. The Temperance card is about being whole. This is your soul's light. Water and fire. You are water and fire. This is kind of your card. But I think you need to let people that's not so hasty also. You need to be able to take in this energy, being slow. sitting in nature, breathing, listen to your heartbeat, listen to your breath going in and out, following it, listen to the birds singing. Take things very cool and leveled and not running around all the time, not being preoccupied all the time. Stay with this emotions and get to know what your inner child really wants. It's doing a lot of things, like it's deflecting. It's not, you don't even know what it wants. So you need to stand still and be still to find out. It's like you're picking out home a lost soul part here, some part of you that you are ashamed of or disappointed at, and or that constantly bring you, as it might be a shadow, bring you into trouble. But I think this part of you is actually going to be very beneficial. This is your next step of personal spiritual development, to take in this energy and start to be, you need to be like the grown up to speak for this inner child and tell what's happening within you so other people can understand. The next card is Six of Wands. So Six of Wands is victory, and it comes underneath the Four of Swords and the Seven of Coins. So if you are being able to stay still, you will get to know yourself, and you will actually find out that you are kind of a hero. You have the Four of Wands here also, really loving yourself and building a foundation for yourself. And the Wheel, having so much divine energy at your disposal. Leo in Jupiter here. Leo is a person or a personality type that kind of likes themselves and have full of ideas, and they are creators, entrepreneurs, visionary people. They make win-win situation for other people. So I think you can use this energy when you start to love yourself instead of hate parts of yourself or don't dislike them or try to put them in the shadow. You won't be so split anymore, and you will actually use this energy that you have to make useful things both for you and your surrounding. You won't use it anymore to do shenanigans. Okay, you will use it to do very emotionally mature, grounded stuff that you know are good for everyone, because you start to trust yourself. And you start to trust yourself because you are being able to be still and feel your feelings. And when you feel your feelings, you are going to be able to communicate your inner child's needs and wants and visions in a much more better way, much more temperate way. The last card is the Hangman. So we have this Knight of Coins energy with the Seven of Coins energy. So this is not going to be over like in 1 month and then you will be free. You are going to have to practice on this, to be in this stillness, to stay put, to look yourself in the mirror, and to lose things, like sacrifice things, maybe also lose addictions. This is kind of the state where you don't you don't take up your mobile phone. You don't go out on that evening jog. You don't put on the TV. You don't go to the refrigerator to look for something to eat. You just stay inside yourself. Feel your inner body, feeling your heartbeat, feeling the emotions. You have Neptune / Uranus back here, twin planets that's kind of talking about emotions, depths, spiritual growth. So time is standing still. So it's something that you want something to happen, and it will happen when you have learned to be still, when you have learned to be still enough to get to know yourself. This is the gateway to a higher level of consciousness within you, and you can't find it if you are running. So we have a kind of mother and child energy here as well. So you might have someone that can help you with this, like an understanding person that might have gone through something similar, because we can see here emotional, like someone being able to aid you emotionally, and here you are. Still moving but not getting anywhere. So the Queen of Cups is a master of staying put, and like she's more like a daydreamer. Become more like a daydreamer. Stay and dream and vision and be in your body and feel your feelings, the waters that's going. That's what you need to do right now. That's wonderful things is about to happen in your life, Scorpio, but you can't leave half of yourself behind. So you need to let this little entity catch up and get the feeling of being loved them too. This little entity also need to become a hero. It doesn't want to be this little shenanigan creature all the time. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to also take a card for you from Oracle of Visions. It's the same artist as with Legacy of Divine here, Ciro Marchetti, but this is his Oracle deck. So for you, Scorpio, yes, reminiscing the past, staying, remembering. This person is seeing things on the screen, doesn't really live maybe in its full extent, just living maybe through others or through communication. We have, this is very ancient system of media. Now we have more rapid things. We can see also a woman here with a love letter and birds leaving. So you might feel that you are in a haste, that you need to run to not miss opportunities. But I think what you're missing when you're running is the opportunity to get to know yourself and the different aspect of yourself. I will check out this card a little bit for you. I won't read it all, but reflection and looking back, hindsight. A moral being is one who is capable of reflecting on his past actions and their motives, of approving of some and disapproving of others. So it's like you need to look at yourself and with the Justice card, maybe judge yourself a little bit, but more judge yourself in the sense of what was actually beneficial for you in the long run, the things you did, and what wasn't. Because sometimes Scorpio are a little bit like sabotaging for themselves, just so they can have this shenanigan and sabotage for others. Yes, so success, failures, mistakes and regrets are belong in the past and cannot be changed. Something should not be dwelt upon and we should move on. But both the good and the bad have value and have contributed to what we are now and offer lessons to be learned for future decisions. The distance of time adds context and perspective to a nostalgic review of past events. So this, when you are thinking about like, to hell with it, it didn't work, I want to let it go, I want to do some other stuff, might actually be this moment where you just reevaluate things and get some understanding of the past instead of just jumping into the next thing. You might actually get some knowledge out of this, as I told you here. So this is like an emphasizing of this, and you're not in a hurry. You need to really get to understand this part, like getting this knowledge of past mistakes and also past victories. So you know how to choose in the future. When you run so hasty, you don't even remember what worked for you or not. And here you are put in a state to remember what worked and what didn't. So past life oracle card for you to see what this little Page of Swords is so sad about. Baby. Yes, okay, so it's definitely something from your childhood. But what? What kind of thing from your childhood? Forgiveness. Okay, I think you have a hard time forgiving yourself. Scorpios can be like very hard to raise for parents because you are kind of little grown-ups, but without the like a common sense. You know so much, and you are the latest download from the universe, and you are very intuitive and come with the latest news. But this, when a parent gets a child like this, or you are getting a child like this yourself, you want this child to behave, and they don't want to. So I think this is what you need to forgive both yourself and your parents. You were supposed to be very like your own little person, like being it's like being old already when you were young in some ways, like you were able to see things that the adult might fail to see, but they might not really have loved everything what you did, even though they loved you. So I think you have to forgive the past, forgive both your parents and yourself. It wasn't easy for either one of you with this, you being a Scorpio and all, coming down as like a teacher. That's like an unbalanced situation when the child becomes the teacher, and therefore there might have been a lot of conflicts. And I think you need to go back and love that little child and side with it, like whatever happens. The parents did probably the best they could from their level of consciousness. You did the best you could with the personality that you got when you came down here. Try to see that everything was like as it was supposed to be. And you are not a bad person. You were just ahead of your time. But now you need to slow down and not be ahead of your time. You need to get this little child to catch up with you and be a part of you in the future. So you have to wait a little bit. Integrate all the sad feelings, everything in the past that you didn't like about yourself. Dwell upon it a little bit here, and see the truth of it and heal from it. Okay, so I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care, and thank you for all of you liking, watching, subscribing, and commenting to my videos. I'm very grateful. I hope to see you again in the beginning of July. Okay, bye bye.